Hello and welcome back to It's New. Great to be here. And we got some pretty good news for you. And of course, new is still new here. So welcome back again. Great to have you. I'm going to be talking about how Google has expanded its site reputation abuse enforcement one more time, this time to large German-based coupon sites. Mordy, what do you got for us?
Glenn Gabe catches Google with their pants down, and it ain't pretty.
Okay. Greg?
SEOs, no SEO content, at least according to Google.
And Anu.
Yeah, we've caught Google reversing its stance on a PMax capability. So yeah, more on that.
Exciting. Yada, yada, yada. All right. So Google has expanded again their site reputation abuse enforcement. So back in March of 2024, Google came out with this new site reputation abuse policy saying it's going to go into effect a couple of months later. Then in May of last year, Google went ahead and started enforcement for US sites, penalizing them. Make a long story short, they expanded the policy numerous times to include more and more types of content. Then they went ahead and cracked down on more US sites. Then they went ahead and cracked down on sites in Spain, Italy, France, and so forth last week. And now they're hitting German markets, which is a very, very big market for this. Christian Kunz went ahead and noticed a bunch of examples of this happening in the search. Laura as well noticed a bunch of examples of happening this. Glenn Gabe shared a bunch of screenshots of large sites getting hit hard by this site reputation abuse policy. We also have some screenshots of the actual manual action as well in German. So this seems to be pretty big for the German market, which is a very, very, very big SEO market in Germany. So just keep that in mind. If you did notice some major changes there with site reputation abuse and manual actions, you're definitely not alone.
Oh, sounds like the train went off the rails.
Did you see the image that Barry selected for this? Very aggressive.
Well,
it is.
Whatever.
It is the Google.
You know, you know.
Anyway, Morty, what do you got for us?
I'm sorry. Glenn Gabe reporting on GSQI, G Squared Interactive. This ties into a report we reported. I don't know, Barry, were you here for this? I don't remember. It's all a blur. When we found that you can, we didn't find. We reported here that AI overviews can show URLs for sites that have been hit by a manual action. And I'm not going to get too into the weeds of what Glenn has here. It's a whole post. You should take a look at it. Glenn writes very, very well, as per usual. But basically, if you're hit by a manual action, you can now figure out in Search Console what the data is for the AI overviews if you're appearing in an AI overview. So you can see the click-through rates, for example. And guess what? They're not great from what Glenn shows in the screenshots, which I think is the story here, is that Google will never, ever put AI overview data into Google's Search Console unless they're trying to tank their stock. Because I bet you those CTRs are not what you think. I mean, the users are not engaging with it. Not that Google cares about the content creators, whatever, about them. But it shows that people might not be engaging with the AI overviews the way that Google would like you to think for their stock price.
Yeah, again, this is amazing. I mean, it was a very good thought from Glenn. I know when we noticed that manual site AI overviews were not impacted by like manual actions, at least not immediately. Glenn and others were like, "Hey, we could go ahead now and see the chart to say, in Google Search Console performance reports, we can actually measure it now, the click-through rates and all that other stuff." But it's a very limited case. Obviously, sites that are hit by manual actions are very few. So it's good to have this data, but it's not everybody's going to get access to this unless you have a manual action. So if you want to go ahead and get a penalty, get a manual action to test it, do that. It's recommended to get a penalty.
Well, no, don't do that.
No, SEO industry, do it.
I have an honest question here about this. So because they were removed, that's essentially how Glenn found it, is their rankings were removed except for those AI overviews. So within all of Search Console, it is pulling in AI overviews in there along with everything else. So if you're looking at your CTR numbers and you're like, hey, year over year, this is worse, it might not be you necessarily, it might be the AI overviews. Is sort of like a takeaway, right? That could be made from this.
Yeah.
And it's pretty bad. Morty, to your point, it's pretty bad. I mean,
it's terrible.
He's at
for
the
number one position
spot getting sub 5% CTR.
Not good. Not what you want.
And then
I would sell my Google stock now if I were you.
Well, I mean, this is kind of good for Google, though. For
No,
the
it's
stock
terrible
price.
for Google.
But if more people are doing more searches and people click on ads, it's going to be good for Google.
Only for you.
For their
And
revenue.
Anu. Only for you and Anu. I forgot. We have 2 BBC people now.
Yeah, I remember
Let's
that.
go. Take
Yeah.
over these fools.
Hey, man, if you want to go ahead and make more of this content that can rank well in search engines, what do you recommend for us, Greg?
Well, there was a new term, I would say, that is coined out there by Preeti Gupta. And over on Blue Sky, Preeti had said, here's a thought. My problem is not with content, but my problem is with content that is made for search engines. This content is not helpful to anyone, and it creates internet trash. This is a new term I came up with.
Like me.
Which that's what I was going to say. Was that your nickname?
Yep. Internet
Mordy,
trash.
in
I'm
high
going to
school?
change my Twitter now. Internet trash.
Oh, God.
To which John Mueller responded and said, I find it interesting how folks who have spent some time with the industry can often recognize made for search engine content fairly quickly. I went on to say, and then there's a little bit more discussion there. And yeah, you shouldn't make content for a search engine. That's pretty simple. Like I feel like this conversation happens like once a quarter.
Yeah.
But also like there are ways that things work. So make great content. Don't make internet trash that is never going to rank. You need to make internet gold, right, Morty? That's better.
But follow internet trash on X now. I gotta update my Blue Sky.
Oh, God.
Okay, so that's your new name. I like
Yep.
it. Fitting.
Yeah, I think it fits. It's perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean it's true, right? I mean, you guys are pretty good at finding this content by reading it, right? Is that
Come on, you know when you see it.
You know?
I mean,
right?
yeah, we don't have enough time to get into it, but whenever they say like, oh, the goal isn't to gain search engine rankings, it's like, sorry, it sort of is for people. Like
Yeah,
if
it's like
there's
when my kids say, no, I didn't have 4 bags of potato chips already. I had 5.
It's like, yeah, you're trying to set something up. Just make sure that it's quality and that you're like have a lot of pride in the stuff that you make. But guess what? Everybody is trying to make content that A, helps people, and then B, is going to show up and done in a format that is acceptable by search engines. Like you have things, you have schema, you have all these different things. The whole point is to gain search engine rankings for some of these things so you can help more people with your helpful content. Like it's just weird messaging.
Cool. And then we had some new information from Google Ads on clarifying some placement exclusions for PMax.
Yeah, this was actually something that we first delved into like a few weeks ago, where Noah Hopkins, shout out to her from Optimizer, noted that, yeah, she was having a conversation on like the forums about, placement exclusions for, through the API for PMax, and like repeated conversations with her and Google support, and even like other individuals who mentioned, they were seeing that they can do it through the API, even though the Google response was you can't. And Nava didn't take a stance there because her team went away and did their research. And yesterday she posted their findings saying that you can implement these exclusions, and once the exclusions gets implemented, there's zero spend across the accounts and across the sub campaigns in there. So it can be done. And then further conversations that she had with Ginny, which, our lovely Ginny, who's always like, trying to, help us on this path of confusions that we can get on. She confirmed, with Nava that, it is possible through the API, but I think now only through the API. You can't do it actually through the UI. And because even back then, through other people's tests, like Niels Ruman as well, who's Mr. Scripts, he did his tests. It's like, exclusions are working. Hope that's good news for folks. You can do exclusions through the API, but I feel only through the API is what it can be done now.
Yeah, this called a major, Google Ads community scuffle. But I'm glad we got that cleared up from Ginny Marvin.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why do it's legit? I'm actually really asking this. Everyone seems to, maybe I'm getting this wrong, love Ginny Marvin, and as well they should. Ginny is wonderful.
Yeah.
And everybody seems to hate Danny Sullivan. Like what's the difference?
I would say there's Nanu, you can jump in if you want. I don't think people hate Danny at all. I think Ginny can actually get some things done, and
Hmm.
Ginny listens very well, and has run campaigns in the past and sort of knows it. And in the ad side, there hasn't been a lot of help ever.
Yeah.
And Ginny is a beacon of hope and listens, and things do happen, which is phenomenal. I think on the organic side, it's just a little bit more mysterious, like it always is. And I don't think some of the answers or rollouts ever come with a really amount of clarity or we're listening type thing. But that happens on the ad side. So to me, that's one big difference. I feel like going to Google, Danny was beloved. Going to Google, Ginny was beloved. And it's just, there was Matt cuts and stuff before where we didn't have that.
Right. And
What
keep
I'm
in
taking-
mind,
Sorry.
keep in mind that, when Danny goes to events and so forth, and he's with those people who are really angry at him, they turn out to love him. So it's just a lot of misunderstanding, I think.
Yeah. But what I took away from Greg is that Danny doesn't listen and can't do anything.
No, it's just the organic side is like shrouded in mystery. It's like
I'm
everything
joking.
is like,
I'm yanking your chain.
yeah.
I
And
do-
Danny is literally
No,
one
he
of-
seems like a nice dude. I never met him in person, and I feel like he gets thrown under the bus. So I feel bad for him.
he is
Yeah.
maybe one of the funniest people live, just in general, nicest humans. Like over at Brighton when he gave that keynote, it was hysterical. It was just like pure Danny. It's like I
Who's
used
funnier,
to just
me or Danny?
live for SMX Advanced Seattle. Danny rants.
Who's funny?
Anyway, don't go there. Anyway,
Answer
thanks so
it.
much
Come
for being on the It's New. We're back tomorrow with more It's New. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody.
Guys, bye.
All right, goodbye. End recording.